What's up everyone, Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7. One of my pet hates is body posts. I hate them popping through the body, and when you have a really nice body, like this one here that I've got for my new drifter, I do not want an ugly body post popping through there and making it really unrealistic, because you get all that, spend all this time and money making it look realistic as possible, and then you put these two huge ass body posts through two at the front and two at the back. So a way around that is using magnetic body posts. They're basically comprised of a couple of parts. You've got this one here that attaches to your normal post that you have on your body. For example, a normal plastic post like this, and that is where you normally put your body down and you put a body pin through there. What you do here, you put this through, you line it up and you put a body post through here, you mount that then on the car like that, and you have another neodymium magnet, or neodymium magnet. You have one here and one that you glue to the underside of the body, and all that does, it's really, really strong, and whack, it just slams on there. So really what you need to do, saves you drilling holes in your body. The best way to do it is not the silly way that I have and painted my body up. You can kind of mark the place where you really want to put it, and then you can kind of figure it out where you want to add the magnet after it. But you can always do it like the way I have, and I'll show you the harder way. But yeah, that is basically where you are. So you know where they normally go in the car, the traditional body post, and that's where you put this one. This one simply screws in here, or you can either screw it in or use a standard body clip like this. Let's just put this guy in. And I've used these on a rock crawler, and so far so good. And see, that's in there now. And if you could screw that down right now, and what you do, this is on a pivot. So the benefit of this, you can tighten this particular angle up to whatever you want. So there we go. You get the right size Allen key, screw this guy up, and it's really sturdy. Now the most difficult part is finding the position of where you want to mount these guys, and where you also want to glue the other magnet onto the underside of the body here. And that's all it really is. All I've used in my other models is just super glue, put it on there, and it's held, no worries. It doesn't affect the polycarbonate paint at all. I've never had any issues with that. I guess you could also use some really high strength Velcro on there. That'll work as well. Put the one side here, the other side on the magnet, and just stick it down there, because once that's on, it's pretty strong. And well, from my experience, I've only used super glue, and it's worked, no worries. It hasn't damaged the paint at all, and that's all it is. So the hardest part, like I said, is finding where you need to go. Look, you don't have to be exact to the millimeter, because once that's down there, it kind of just snaps it down there shut, and everything lines up really, really well. But the hard part for me on this particular car is the weird design, or I guess not weird, but unique design of this drift car. As you can see, it kind of looks like a real car, even without the body. It's got this really unique shape. It's got like a dashboard here. It's got front inner fairings, and you can see the whole model looks like an actual real car. It's a belt-driven system. If you want to check out, I've got a build series on this, and go check that out if you're interested in that. But the hardest part for me is finding the position on the body. And like I said, I've painted that beforehand. Silly me. That's my mistake, but you don't have to do that. The best place I've found to put this system would be right here. So I've got one magnet like that, and that'll go in. Let me take this pin out. So if I just undo this, let's just get this angle maybe 90 degrees like that. So for example, I want to sit it here, and I think the best position I found was right under here, because I have about 5mm clearance, but I'll show you the clearances I have when I put the body on. It's very tight. The back is fairly easy, because it's actually right near the rear window, and I can see a body post. So for example, the back is here. There's the back right there. So that's fairly easy. I can see it once the body's on, but the front one is a little bit difficult. If I kind of put the body on roughly where I want it to go and get my torch, it's about 5mm to play with up there, so it's really, really hard to see on camera. But once it's on, it should look really sweet and much more scale. Because yeah, look, for bashing and stuff like that, I wouldn't worry about body posts sticking through, but when I do a nice car like this, I want it to look as scale as possible, because everything else is scale, and you're going to ruin it with these two huge ass holes running through the body. So The hardest part, or the most time consuming part, is finding where you want the body to sit, like a normal body really, and making sure that the wheels are in the center of your wheel arches so it looks realistic. The good thing about this, you can adjust the wheelbase, I think 5mm, so back or forth to make it sit perfectly. But luckily this what is this one, EAE 86 or something like that, fits perfectly for this body because it's got this kind of chunky height here that clears that actual part, the carbon fibre section up in here. Okay, now here is what I come up for the front. Now I figured the best possible place to put them for clearance issues and just ease of actual mounting points that I had on here, I thought I'd use this standard point here that I have. I just bored it out a little bit more so I can feed this screw directly through there like that. It sits out perfectly because when I put it in there, it sits around about that height and the same angle as that. Now the benefit of that is, the benefit of this system is, I'm not too sure if I showed you this in the beginning, but they have a couple of parts per unit here. So it's come with this little countersunk screw and this type of magnet. So the magnet that has a hole in it goes on the base. Everything's hard because everything sticks to each other, but this is the magnet that sits on the bottom of the on the car side, on the chassis side, just like that. As you can see, it's got a countersunk area and it got this small little screw there that's countersunk as well. You put that guy in there and that screws to the mount here. Now the benefit of this is you can use a longer screw here and put some washers underneath to raise this up if you need more clearance to get to the body, because as it stands there's about 1 centimeter from the face of this to the bottom of the one that's going to go on the Lexan body there. So I can easily just push that up a little bit more with some washers, or you can either use other magnets on the body side, on the Lexan side, to make that gap up. So you can glue them together, and super glue works really well on magnets, I've found out. So yeah, it's a really simple system. Like I said, the hardest part is just, or the most trickiest part is figuring out where everything's going to go. So here's my, like I mentioned before, this is what I've come up with for the front setup. Now I've got, as you can see, I've got a gap here to fill, and good thing about having all these spare parts lying around, I've got some of these little spaces here. So what I'm going to have one spacer there, like that, and then the actual magnet or the body post system on the side. So feed this through here. I keep losing the magnets because they get stuck to the car, because this kit is majority steel and aluminium and plastic. So there you go, it's just got enough room to bite on to the end of here, and then we can just screw this guy down now and get the desired angle, which is pretty much the angle of this bonnet here. Tighten it up and it is good to go. As we can see there, here's the actual magnet, and like I mentioned, I can, now this is on, I can undo this particular screw here, and if I want to increase the height of this gap I can. What I'll do, I'll just leave these as they are, and I'll get the other side sorted, and then we can figure out where to mount the magnet on the actual Lexan body. Now what I did, I actually taken the magnet out and I screwed a longer screw in there till it hits the bottom. And what I want to do is, I've stolen this out of my wife's box, or if you can have that as well, don't judge. But anyway, it's like a lipstick, and all I want to do is I want to mark the top of this. You can use different type of things. Just want to mark the top of these, so that mark can transfer to the inside of the body when I place it on there. Now it's got to make sure when you actually put this body on that you situate like kind of how, let me just move this up a little bit, kind of how you want it to sit, because if you kind of put it on and it sits on these points and then it moves around, it's not going to be very accurate. So you kind of want to get it as accurate as you can, so you know exactly where those are, or nearabouts. Find the spot, sit that on there, and yeah, just kind of get it on there and push it down a little bit harder than normal, so you know roughly where it is. And you want to kind of be in the center of that wheel well, obviously, and check both sides. They look pretty good. and kind of push down where you roughly know where it is. And hopefully that mark is on there, which it is. It's hard to see on the camera, but there, one's right there and the other one is up there. It's really hard to see on the camera, but I can see it. So that is all you need. You just put it up there, double check again, and yeah, find out those holes. Now once you find your positions like I have here, it's important that you make sure that you glue the magnet on the body the right way, and the best way to figure that is take one of these, the base magnet out, and hold it with the screw. Because if you put this down here, which is going to, that's how the body's going to hold, the magnet wants to go that way. But if you glue it the wrong way, the magnet wants, it's the opposite way, so you can't glue it that direction. So the easiest way and to do it, put it on like that, and then you can hold it with the screw and glue it down and hold it just for that quick second when the super glue dries. That's it. It's in. Let it dry for a little bit. Don't move it too much when it's drying, and it should be no issues. Okay, there they are. This one's nice and dry. Just done this one next. And yeah, wait till it dries and we can see how it fits. I've increased the height of this by adding some 6 small washers under there just to bring this little magnet up. So, should see if it fits now. Okay, now I just quickly checked if it worked, and it did. The super glue's dried, so I'll show you quickly again. So, the back ones aren't done yet, but it is the same process. And there we go, make sure it's all, look at that. Sweet. Right in the center as well. And that is on. See? That body is on now. A bit of force, lift it up, there we go, bang. Push it back down again. And once the back ones are all done as well, it'll be so much nicer. Look at that, locked in. I fluked that a bit, look at that, right in the center, so I'm happy with that. Clearance as well, even with full compression. How's it work there? No rubbing. No rubbing there as well. Awesome, let's check the other side. Sweet, super happy with that. Really lined up well. And as you see, I'll lift it up again. See how it just locates itself. Lift it up, push it up. Bingo, right there, happy with that. I wanted the bottom here just to be slightly under it to catch anything before it catches this, so I'm really happy with that. I haven't touched anything. The suspension settings are all the same. Awesome. Now, that's the hardest part. The easy part now is the back ones, and that's easy because if I move this camera, you can see exactly where you need to go. So, much easier than the front ones. For the back body posts, I've utilised the standard plastic body post that came with it, which is just this guy. Chopped it off to length, and it's got the screw at the bottom, so they can just screw directly onto here. So, chopped it off, slip that in there just like that. And all I need to do, drill these 2 holes, because if I used any of these, the body would sit too high. So these ones here will be perfect. So basically, it'll just go directly like that. So all I need to do is get the rake of the window correct. And the good thing about these, you just tilt them the angle you need them, put them on, you can always adjust it too. So let me get these 2 guys screwed down, and we'll position the other magnets on the body. Alrighty, there we go. I've mounted them both on there. As you can see, both even. I've just eyeballed the angle of the rear window just like that. But there we go. That's how it looks. Now, like I mentioned, this kit's a little bit hard, but a lot of other kits that just have the basic body post coming up and the front's normal, not like this contraption. It's much easier, especially when you do it without the body being painted. But let's go put it on, back on now. And then you can see how it all looks. So now, there we go. So, for the back, I wanted it to sit just around about there. So, you can see that's where the body posts are lining up to the rear of the window. Super easy. Now, you can see how much easier it is to find out where the actual magnets go on the left hand side. Easy of just lining it up, find your locations, make sure everything is straight and set it on the body, and that's it. Glue it all together. So now I'll get these other two magnets. I have to find because they stick to everything metal. Here they are here, and like I said, make sure they're the right direction so they actually stick when you put the body onto the magnets, and that is it. Sweet. Let me put these on and we'll see how it looks. So there we go. All done. Left and right one are all glued there. Once that's dried, I like to take the body off and then put another bead of glue under the inside just to give it that bit more reinforcement. Okay guys, there it's done. Everything is completed. The body is held on really nicely. There's how it looks on the other side, sorry. Bear in mind I'll clean off some of this excess glue here, but no big deal. There's the top. Everything fits on nicely. You put it on. Let me get that on the shot. And everything, you line everything up. Bam. Done. It's not going anywhere. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry it's a little bit long, but it's not normally as hard to do, especially if it's a regular style bashing body. A little bit difficult with this one because of the space and room needed. But yeah, there we go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like the video, and if you haven't, please subscribe. Easy to do. Click the sub button and that little bell so you get notified of new videos ASAP. So cheers guys. Any questions, please ask. I'll leave the link in the description as well. Forgot to mention, I had another set here. These are all from Banggood, by the way, and they have another one here, but it's a bit harder to use. It's quite complex. It's got little measuring things on the side in millimeters. I've seen this one used before, but it's no instruction manuals, but I'll leave the link. It's a little bit easier just to check the link out and see if this one might be better for you. It wasn't better for me. This traditional one is really handy for me. So thanks guys. Once again, Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.